Okay, so it's actually been quite a while since my last video in regards to my tech bag, and the last one that I showed off was actually pretty cool, but it wasn't really 100% practical, just considering how heavy that bag actually ended up being for a lot of circumstances, especially since I ended up having to do a lot of walking along the way. It was to school, and then to work, that sort of stuff, and every single time, I just ended up complaining about just how heavy and how bulky my bag was, and how inefficient it kind of was overall. So I gave myself a goal. I was going to prepare a bag that is extremely slim and extremely light, and that only carries all of the essentials. However, a couple of other goodies that could definitely come in handy every now and then. And everything there is going to fit right in here, and what is essentially one of the slimmest bags I have ever had the pleasure of testing out and owning, quite frankly. So, welcome back to another episode of What's in My Tech Bag, and in this case, what's in the slimmest tech bag ever. With that said, let's dive in. And now let's start off with the bag itself, obviously. So this bag is actually branded by Pie. They tend to make pretty high quality stuff, as a matter of fact. And this bag, even though it only cost me around 60 bucks, is built quite nicely. And it's super comfortable and super slim at around 3 inches actually. Just overall, however, this guy is a little bit overstuffed in comparison, as it shouldn't really have as many things as it has inside. It's just the kind of person I am, I suppose. It's kind of unavoidable at the end of the day. You're going to find yourself over here with actually what is essentially 4 compartments. And you're going to be getting the one all the way at the front over here, which opens up like this, the one up top, and then the main compartment here. However, on the very back, there's actually a hidden that leads to other goodies. However, I don't really use it all that often, and in this case, it is actually going to be empty. I ended up only using 3 of the 4 compartments available on this bag because it is essentially just everything I needed, and frankly, a little bit of leather. On the top, this is going to be a water-sealed bag. It is completely waterproof, and on the back, you're going to get a ton of padding, which is the main reason why I love this bag so much in terms of padding and comfort and build quality, and the fact that this thing can survive in the rain is something that I appreciate so very much. And now, let us go ahead and get into what's inside of my tech bag. So let's start off with the main compartment, as that's just going to be the most important, or the most fun part here in all of this. So the one thing that I'm going to carry all the way at the top is going to be my main pair of headphones for travel. This is going to be the Audio-Technica SR30 BT. This pair of headphones is incredibly light, and they're super comfortable, and they sound pretty great. I really like them. I really enjoy them for watching videos and listening to music, and in particular for editing, like just considering that these are from Audio-Technica. At the end of the day, these are always going to sound pretty darn good, even though they are a little bit more bassy than I would prefer overall. The battery life on these is also pretty amazing, and it's one of the main reasons why I carry this pair around with me, and it's absolutely amazing. And for that, I'm going to leave a link down in the description if you're interested in a full breakdown and analysis of these headphones overall. And now next up, we're going to get the most important piece of this entire bag, and the whole reason why I decided to slim things down in the first place, and this is going to be my iPad Pro. On this iPad Pro, I do a ton of video editing and photo editing, animating. I just get to do pretty much everything that I need to do as a student, as a YouTuber, as a video editor, and as an animator, all on just this one tiny machine. This is going to be the 11-inch module, and I kind of wanted to give it a little bit of a laptop feel to it, so then I ended up getting the Bridge Pro keyboard for it, and it makes it look like a MacBook. Thanks to its mouse support too, it kind of behaves a little bit more like a MacBook, though we should all keep into consideration that I am still just a Windows guy at the end of the day. However, I do still very much enjoy this, as there kind of really isn't anything like it, unless you want a Surface, but honestly, LumaFusion just runs so incredibly well on this iPad that it's really hard to drop for pretty much anything else, especially if I'm on the go. Leave links to all of those down in the description so that you can be as informed as possible when it comes to my workflow and that sort of stuff. So now moving on to the next product. And over here we're still going to be in a compartment, and one of the other things is just a USB-C to USB-C cable with a power brick. This is going to be to charge both my phone and the iPad, so this is the one that came with the iPad primarily, though you can also charge quite a few things on this package too. You can charge my Nintendo Switch, which, spoiler alert, is coming right up, and you can even charge the bridge keyboard on the iPad Pro 2 if you wanted to with just one cable, so I very much appreciate that. Now next up, we're going to have my battery bank of choice. Now you've seen this one in the past, and this is going to be Aukey's 20,000 milliamp hour battery bank. I know this battery bank is absolutely massive, however it's so powerful, and it supports fast charging too, which is always going to be pretty great. You're going to be getting a variety of ports, so you have 3 USB-A ports, a USB-C port, a lightning port, and even a micro USB port over here for charging it. I can keep my phone and my Switch, and most importantly, charge for the entire day and beyond, so I very much appreciate this, and I wouldn't replace it with anything else, just considering how powerful this thing actually is, and I very much like it. Now, moving on to the next product, here, well, I just like to carry around a bunch of microfiber cloths. I actually have 2, and they're pretty cool, and they just get the job done, essentially. And next up, it's just going to be my Nintendo Switch encased in this case, whose brand I completely forgot, but again, I will be leaving links to everything down in the description to Amazon. All of them are going to be affiliated, by the way. Now, this Nintendo Switch is almost completely custom. As you can see, I've got myself white Joy-Cons and a carbon fiber back on my Nintendo Switch, and this has been my travel companion for gaming for quite a while. I very much love this, and as of lately, I've been playing Final Fantasy VIII, the remaster on this, and I've been having quite a ton of fun. So with that said, for the other games over here, it's just going to be a bunch of JRPGs. You got Final Fantasy XII, Octopath Traveler, God Eater 3, The Legend of Zelda, Skyrim, and that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm just pretty much an RPG junkie, especially when it comes to JRPGs. And next up, in this little pouch here, I've actually got quite a few important things going on. At the very back of it, I've actually got a couple of batteries for my camera of choice, or for the one that I tend to travel with. At the front over here, I've actually got my Sony a6400, and on this side, I've got my Panasonic Lumix G7. And the offering I've got here is actually still from Panasonic because I really like what they make. And inside, I actually have, well, an ND filter for that set camera. I'll be showing you that in a little bit. I'll be linking these up too, so that you can see exactly what that looks like. Inside, I've actually have this Pixie tripod. This tripod is super cheap, and it's built incredibly well, and it's pretty awesome. And it's pretty much only got like 2 positions, and it's one like this standing, and the other one like this. It's just holding it. You can control the ball head too with just the press of a button, and it's pretty cool, and it's pretty small, and I carry this around because it hardly takes up any space in my bag, and it fits so perfectly inside of this pouch that I got from Amazon. And then lastly, in here, we're going to have my travel camera of choice, and this is going to be the Panasonic Lumix LX10. This camera is an absolute monster. You're going to be getting flip out screen, full 4K at 24 FPS video support here. No microphone jack though, or anything like that. However, this ND filter fits right on like this, and it fits on magnetically. And it's really cool using it and all that. And it's just been incredibly convenient. Filming anything on the go, or anything like that, this camera comes in handy. And with this ND filter, it is incredibly powerful as well. And if you're interested in a full review of this camera, then I will be making sure to leave a link to that down in the description as well. And moving forward, that is going to be everything for the main compartment. Oh, no, never mind, I lied, because there's actually just going to be my pair of wireless earbuds of choice. So I really like these and all, but sometimes I just want something a little bit easier, a little bit lighter, and just a lot more convenient to travel with or to use at that moment with my smartphone, and that is my pair of Razer Hammerhead True Wireless. Now this pair is eventually going to get replaced by the Google Pixel Buds 2, which will be coming out at some point in the spring. And until then, I've been enjoying these quite a bit. That is going to be everything for the main compartment. Now let's go ahead and move on to the middle compartment. And in here, I've actually got, well, for one, a little string here that has attached hand sanitizer. And during these times, this is insanely helpful, and you pretty much need this. It is almost mandatory. However, inside this middle compartment, I'm just going to have a gridded, and in here, I've actually got quite a few important accessories that I do use on a day-to-day. Like for example, over here, I've got myself a USB-C dongle for my iPad Pro. And this is going to be used in case I need to suffice with an HDMI port and a USB 3.0 port, and an SD card slot and a micro SD card slot, 2 USB-C ports, and it supports power through one of them actually, and on the other end you've actually got a headphone port, which obviously during these dark times it is really helpful to actually have. And I really like this, and it works with my iPad beautifully. So the next part of the grid, and over here I'm just going to have my Logitech MX Everywhere, or Anywhere. I tend to forget its name. However, this tiny little mouse is insanely convenient to travel around with, and it's got a really solid scroll wheel. However, my only issue here is just that it charges through micro USB. However, I wouldn't have to charge this for a very long time at the end of the day, so that's not really that big of a concern at the end of the day. And it's super comfortable, and it works with the iPad as well, so hey. And now moving on to the next portion, we've actually got my SSD of choice, and over here I've got a 256 gig SSD for my iPad Pro, and this is going to be from Western Digital. I ended up getting this because at the end of the day, I always need a secondary medium for transferring all of my data to it and back. And I like to edit on LumaFusion right off of this drive as it supports it, and I can keep my iPad free of just a ton of 4K footage and B-roll and that sort of thing that I kind of just don't want to leave on my iPad. I can leave everything right here. Next up over here, I just have the USB-C cable for it itself. It's pretty self-explanatory there too. And next up, another USB-C cable, and this is going to be USB-A to just USB. Now this is just more so as a backup at the end of the day, and it's really nice having around. It just offers that extra layer of security that we all kind of need. And now lastly, on this grid, I just have a business card holder, and it's a pretty simple one too. Again, links to everything down in the description. And now the last thing here, in the compartment all the way in the front, and the last thing is just going to be my smartphone of choice, and here I went ahead and purchased the Google Pixel 4. Now, I'm an Android guy. Now, this phone takes incredible photos. Even though the battery life isn't exactly all that great, I think that its size is perfect, and the refresh rate on this phone is also really nice, and it's been my companion ever since October, ever since it got released. And now that's pretty much it. And if you enjoyed any of the stuff that you saw in this bag, if you would like to check it out, or if this inspired you to make your own version of a super thin and light tech bag, and then do make sure to let me know in the comments. And again, I will be making sure to leave affiliate links to Amazon down in the description to everything I mentioned here. So if you end up using any of my links to make a purchase, then I do get a small commission that does help me run things just a little bit more smoothly around here. So if you were to do that, I would appreciate that quite a bit. And also, if you like me enough, then do make sure to follow me on Twitch, as I like to stream on the weekends, usually every Friday and Saturday. I like to stream some MMORPGs like Final Fantasy XIV, and sometimes a couple of single-player games like Kingdom Hearts 2 and very soon Octopath Traveler, since I'm trying to get back into it. I like to play some smooth jazz music, so if you're interested in just coming by, stopping in, and just chilling out for the rest of the night, then I'd be more than happy to have you there. And also do make sure to follow me on both Twitter and Instagram to stay up to date with the Tech Summit endeavors. So, with that said, this has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you all later. Enjoy!